All right, we are going to determine the order of the strength of these acids. And it's always increasing acidity, so weakest acid first, strongest acid last. I think we can do that one right now. But when we do these questions, you need to talk about the stability of the conjugate base. And in almost all of these, the conjugate base is conj base for 7 or 6 out of 7 are carbonyl O minus. What part of the conjugate base needs to be stabilized in order to make it a stronger acid, which means I'll rephrase my question. Yes, she answered my question. She said the O minus needs to be stabilized. And I just wanted to remind you, if you want to make more conjugate base, it better be more stable. That's what more stable means. You make more of it. And things that will stabilize the O minus are the ones that help. And I think a chlorine stabilizes O minus by what? Inductive effect. So here's my answer for B in orange. Cl stabilizes O minus via, that's by way of, or going with, inductive effect. Now, what is the main concept in the inductive effect? Is it size? Is it color? It's electronegativity. Oh, I think you talked about electronegativity briefly a second ago, well, in the previous video. So Cl stabilizes O minus via inductive effect. That's good for 2 and 3, both being stronger than 1, isn't it? Which one's going to have the stronger inductive effect, 2 or 3? 2, because it's based on the number of bonds that the chlorine has to pull electrons through. And if it's a greater distance, it's a weaker effect. So slightly weaker inductive effect. Inductive effect. And that's based on distance from O minus is greater, right? And we were told that the nitro is even a stronger and has a very strong inductive effect. NO2, even though it's at a greater distance, stronger inductive effect. And here's where I am on that so far. I do not expect you to be able to know which of these will be better. The alpha chloro, or the orthonitro. That's where I was getting the ortho from. Because that's a greater distance, isn't it? But it's a stronger effect to start with. So you guys got this going on, and it's a Mabarov. Yeah, isn't it? Mabarov. But we will clear that up shortly, because there's another thing going on with the benzoic one. This one here. Okay. I know she likes we mentioned benzene resonance earlier. She went there. I kind of tricked her on that. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. No, we got to go back to our fundamentals of hybridization now. Okay? And I just want to remind you that a C that's sp2, this is like a mini little lecture here, is S is 33% S, right? You remember that discussion at all? Yeah, it keeps coming up over and over. It's probably the most important thing about hybridization. CSP3, what percent S? Yeah. And I like generalizing to compare things. This is somewhat of an inductive effect. Think about it. Which one pulls electrons closer to the nucleus? Right, the 33% S. Yeah. Isn't that the definition of inductive effect? Pulling electrons close to your nucleus has an effect further away? Yeah. Same thing here. This is like a mini inductive effect based on hybridization only, but you have to tell me you know that. I'm not talking about a true inductive effect based on electronegativity, because that's what we normally reserve our discussion of inductive effect for, is electronegativity. But hybridization mimics that. And I'm going to say that the butenoic acid has an inductive effect based on hybridization. So I don't know, pink. sp2 stabilizes O- better. I'm going to name it. I think this might be the first time. Oh, better, no. sp2 stabilizes better than hybridization. What am I saying? I got too many things going on in my head at the same time. Then sp3, I didn't finish my first sentence. And I'm going to name this the hybridization inductive effect. This makes it easier to remember. It's inductive because it's at a distance. Okay. So if we had an sp there, like it was a triple bond, you could put those in order for me, right? The triple would be better. And you would be right. So, which one's more important? Do you think it's the the true chloro-inductive effect, or the hybridization inductive effect? She thinks it's the chlorine. I'm not taking any chances because they're similar. We're gonna research the pKa's off screen and come back. I'm gonna pause the share. And how do I pause the video now? Stop sharing? Stop sharing. Yes. Stop sharing? And now I pause the video. Sorry. We're back. Off-screen research revealed, as was suspected by my student right here, she thought the chlorine inductive effect would be a stronger effect. She was right. So the direct inductive effect seems to be a little stronger than the hybridization effect. 2.9 versus 4.7. Please don't memorize those numbers. And I'm going to get rid of them. They're not your responsibility. But from now on, we do know which of those is more important, right? Go with the high electronegativity inductive effect is a little better than the hybridization inductive effect. So I think we can put some of these in order based on that. We've got top dog is the sulfonic acid, and we should talk about why. Down here, at the very end, V is top guy. And then I believe the chloro one would be next best. But I'm going to remind you that now we have the down here. Isn't this also hybridization? It has the small inductive effect of the hybridization. It's got the nitro, which wasn't quite as good as the chloro for the inductive effect because it was further away, but it was very competitive because nitro is much stronger at pulling the electron. And I think the nitro finally took over. So remember, nitro, powerful stuff. So I'm putting it second best. And we better mention at least something about that. I don't know why it's in pink all of a sudden. Combination and explanations have been in pink. Combination of NO2 inductive, but slightly farther away than Cl in part 2. Oh, wow. In part 2. And I put sp2, what did we call it again? Hybridization inductive effect? How's that for hybridization? Induct effect. Makes it number 2. Number 1 is here, number 2 is there. Then we're going to go with the 2, and I think we've done enough explaining of the 2. And it was just a little better than the 3. And we had the butene and the benzoic. Right here, where's our butene? These 2, guys, you think I'm gonna grade whether you put this one or this one ahead of the other one? No, I'm not. Isn't this like a double bond sp2, just like this one? I'm not gonna make you distinguish. So what would be a good way to show 6 and 3 will, 6 and 3. 6 and, where's the other one? This one, 4. For the same reason, they're almost the same. So I'm gonna do it like this. 6 is roughly equal to 3. You can do that. That means they're interchangeable right there. And I didn't talk about it, CVI. Same logic right there. And what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which one have I missed?
6 is actually equal to 4.
Oh, and 3, we already have 3. Gee, thank you. Yeah, 6 roughly equal to 4. That gets confusing. Roman numerals, V, I, V, symmetry. Which one am I missing? 1? I guess 1's the low guy. He's got nothing special going on, and I don't think we have to explain that, right? Doesn't have help. All the others have a little help. Oh, we didn't do that. SO3, there's an easy explanation, has the most extensive, let's just say has extensive resonance. We're talking about a fundamental difference. CO2 minus has resonance, right? R CO2 minus. R SO3 minus has extensive resonance beyond what CO2 minus can do. And I believe that is satisfactory for this activity. So you will definitely have one of those on your test, this I promise.